This week we are joined on the podcast by the powerful and beautiful RevSven. I give a review of Metro Exodus. We talk about the Sony Showcase, not State of Play. I don't know why my notes say that. I give a review of Metro Exodus, and of course we have to talk about the finale to Epic v. Apple.
Why do you think I'm here?
Roll the intro. Hello and welcome
I'm fixing a decoration.
I like how he's using, instead of using a hammer, he's using the back of a screwdriver like every innovative suburban dad ever.
It's a broken selfie stick, even better.
Ooh, even better.
Anything's a hammer if you try hard enough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I am your host, Daniecae. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite. Green, how are you doing today, baby boo?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. I woke up this morning. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I
like where your head's at, Green. I like where your head's at.
I am, as the kids say nowadays, #woke.
I see. Nice and woke. Joining us, like I said, the powerful and the beautiful, his first time back as a guest now. Thanks for filling in last minute because we were so busy with doing interviews that we forgot to even think of a guest. And I'm like,
and here I am.
And here you are. Rev, how have you been since the last couple weeks?
Bro, I have been busy. I've been tired, but I've been having a lot of fun. It's been a wild few weeks, but here's to a wild several more, hopefully.
Yes. Hopefully, many.
I forgot to mention that I got saltwater taffies today, and I have never been more happy in my entire life.
You were literally just asking us to take those away from you before we started the show.
They're tropical flavor too, so I don't have any of those ones that are like that nasty cinnamon flavor. It's primo.
Or those random chocolate ones. Who makes chocolate saltwater? Oh.
Like the best saltwater taffy of all time easily is the banana one, but I'll take the tropical any day.
You throw a green one my way and we're good.
I got you, homie. I know your PO.
He just gets a single envelope with one piece of taffy in it. Postage is $6 for it. Thanks again, guys, for watching and listening to the show. This is a show for gamers on a budget. If you guys get any value on the show or from the show, please leave a like and subscribe. If you guys miss any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you are already finding us on those platforms and want to join us live, you can do that on Twitch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you guys want to be a part of the show, you can answer the question of the week. Last week, we asked Team Edward or Team Jacob. I said Team Jacob. I think Green agreed with me. And Chocolade was the odd man out there. But this week, our question of the week is brought to us by Mr. RevSven. And that is, who is the biggest villain in anime history? Rev, who is the biggest villain in anime history?
That fucking dad.
Shadow Tucker.
Yeah, dude. Actually, you know what? I would say he's the biggest villain, but honestly, he did me a favor by doing that grotesque thing because my company or my business socials blew up because of it, and I got a lot of round of applause. So I may have to switch up my answer, but for now, we're going to go ahead and stick with it.
You know, what's really interesting about anime villains as a whole is a lot of them are the father of the protagonist. Technically, Avatar isn't anime, but it's in my eyes this. I mean, Fire Lord Ozai, absolutely fantastic villain, voiced by the phenomenal Mark Hamill. What more could you want? And he was menacing and strong, and Zuko's dad.
You asked what more could you want? Well, I got everything that I want because when I shared that meme, I get a DM from Danny that says, Rev, you absolute sack of shit. And that was the biggest compliment anybody has ever given me.
I think I said something along that lines as well. And you're like, did you see it? I'm like, oh, you fucker.
Yeah. That's it. Hell, even my brand manager at work goes, how dare you?
And for context, for the people who are listening and or viewing it, don't know what we're talking about. It was National Dog Week, and on I believe the Loot Anime Twitter page, he posted a picture. It says Happy National Dog Day. Had a few noteworthy anime puppies in it, and on the bottom right corner happened to be Chimera Nina from episode 4 of Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Which is an absolute fucking soul crusher of an episode. So if you haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, like Brotherhood is like one of like the best animes of all time. Fight me, at me, I don't care. But that part will crush your absolute fucking soul.
I would like to one last thing before we move on. I had somebody on the company Facebook page say either whoever's running socials either is brainless or an outright asshole. And I shared just a gif of Jason Segel going, I'm trolling from work and I love it.
My biggest anime villain in history, I've got to say, it's got to be Frieza. There's no other option because Frieza is
Space Hitler.
Exactly.
Yeah, Frieza is hands down. Yeah, Frieza is hands down the best anime villain because he's the only one that was literally evil for the sake of being evil. Like, you could look at even just like from the Dragon Ball franchise, Cell was only the bad guy because he wanted to prove his perfection. Boo was only bad because he was literally an entity born from chaos. Frieza became a piece of shit and chose to stay a piece of shit and just murdered people because he thought it was funny.
Exactly.
Frieza did come from a long line of assholes.
Yeah.
You know, with Cooler and or not Cooler,
King Cold.
King Cold and Lord Chilled. As the Team 4-Star video would say.
Yes.
Lord Chilled.
So, yes, let us know in the comments on YouTube. You guys can even tweet at me. You can tweet at me at Daniecae, Daniecee. And, yeah. Let's, I have missed that over the last couple weeks. The absolute insanity that is RevSven.
I need to start, like, zooming up slowly on myself now.
Yeah. So, we have a lot to get through. Do you guys mind if I just jump right into a review?
Absolutely.
Let's do this
Let's
thing.
hear it. Let's see if we can get the get this out on the Metro.
Yeah. So I have been playing Metro Exodus. I haven't finished all the DLC, but I just wanted to. I did finish the main story, and so I wanted to get through a review of the main story, and then I'll go back to the DLCs for reviews after I finish them. So Metro Exodus is the third game in the Metro 2033 trilogy. It follows a man named Artyom who lives in a post-apocalyptic Moscow after nuclear bombs and bioweapons were dropped on the city. Let me get the video there. It was developed by 4A Games and is available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. If you're interested in playing it on PC, it is currently on sale on Steam for 60% off, which I think is a steal. I personally picked it up on sale, and I got the gold edition, which came with the DLCs and the expansion pass. If you're looking at buying it right now, don't get the gold edition. Well, actually, no. Let me take that
I thought
back.
you were about to say, if you're looking at getting it, don't. Just
actually,
straight up.
I'm actually going to take that back because there is when you buy the gold edition, you also get the enhanced edition. So I take that back. The reason I was going to say you don't necessarily want to buy the gold edition was because you could just buy the DLCs separate when they're on sale. because there's only 2 DLCs. They're not adding any more, which I'm a little disappointed about. But that's beside the point. It actually is worth picking up, just for the enhanced edition, because it has the enhanced edition comes with ray tracing. If you have a machine that can handle that. Speaking of machines that might be able to handle it, or probably won't be able to handle it, actually, here are the specs. 64-bit processor, an Intel Core i5 4440 or equivalent, 8 gigs of RAM, GeForce GTX 670 or 1050, or an AMD Radeon HD 7870. You need 59 gigs of hard drive space and a DirectX compatible sound card. The game was released in 2019, so it's not super new, but also not incredibly old by right. So keep that in mind as I talk about some of the mechanics and UI and stuff, which is what I'm going to go into first. I'm going to go into that first, and then we're going to go into the story. So if you need a spoiler warning, I will give that, and you guys can mute or skip ahead as you see fit once I give that spoiler warning. But first, the game quality and mechanics. And I want to say, I like the game, but I've got a lot of critiques. And it's going to sound like I don't like the game, but I do. Just a fair warning. The game has a few design, UI, and quality of life quirks that by 2019 were very out of date. The biggest example of this was that there is no borderless windowed mode, which is a feature that has been standard by basically any game by 2019. I want to say most games had borderless window mode in them by 2015. Right, which was just weird, and I was trying to find mods that would fix that, because it made streaming the game a pain in the ass. It made streaming the game a pain in the ass. The game's lighting and rays also have some issues with certain settings. There's like a boss fight that I had where it was like in the open air, and I was doing it at night, and like moon rays basically obscured and completely blinded me. It was just a weird glitch because some of my settings, like my gamma setting, was a little higher than the game wanted it to be, because I was also, like I said, I've been streaming the game, and so I wanted my gamma to be a little bit higher because OBS naturally darkens things. The encoding naturally darkens things. So I tried to up the gamma, and then it ended up fucking up like the lighting in the game. It was really weird, really frustrating. There is also, like, in that same level, so that was the Taiga level, which I'll talk about in a little bit. They also had like a weird geometry generation thing that was bizarre and confusing. Like, it looked like walls would just like appear like in the middle of water. It was really, really weird and immersion breaking. The game does have some accessibility features for hard of hearing players. There are some subtitle controls where you can like adjust that stuff. And there was also the ability to toggle tinnitus noises, which was kind of cool. But when I was looking at the accessibility features, and I noticed there were some there weren't any for colorblind players or visually impaired players. And the colorblind accessibility kind of made me scratch my head, because this is a game with a lot of muted colors. There's lots of browns and grays and greens and colors that, I mean, the aesthetics of the game, like the art you can see on the screen here, but you know, they're old. It's post-apocalyptic, right? It's grimy and dirty and grungy. You know, things aren't super vibrant because they've been wasting away, you know, in the Russian, you know, winters for, you know, years, right? So that was very confusing to me as to why there were some sound accessibility features, but nothing for colorblind or visually impaired players. The game,
which is a shame.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Looking at you, Dead by Daylight.
The game, for the most part, however, does play fine. It behaves in ways that you would typically expect a shooter like this to behave. There's just some weird design choices and a lack of polish in some areas of the game. The game is a survival horror shooter where you, the player, must traverse given environments, completing missions while crafting or scavenging supplies you find along the way. It's very different from the previous Metro entries, which would be 2033 and Last Light, where you buy mods for your weapons and get ammo at different stations before you go on your missions. And then as you're going through your missions, you'll scavenge more ammo, like on corpses and stuff like that. And also, unlike the previous entries, there isn't a money system with military bullets, right? So in the universe, in the lore, the currency of the Metro was military bullets, like these high quality bullets. That was the currency. And so there was a system in place in the game where you would find military bullets, and then you would go to a metro station and at the market, make purchases for your guns, buy shittier ammo, or if you're running low on ammo or you really want to kill the fucking thing that's coming at you, you could swap to your military bullets and eviscerate it. Like the military bullets did higher damage than the civilian bullets. There's not that in this game at all. All ammo basically is the same. Actually, I'm gonna replace that. There's only ammo for certain guns, and it's all the same, right? So there's AR ammo, there's pistol ammo, there's shotgun, there's sniper, and then there's some steel balls and crossbow bolts, and it's all the same. There's nothing that there's no way that it there's no special variant of AR ammo. All assault rifles get the same stuff, but there is ways in which the guns differ from each other, in that you really get to create your own guns in this game. You're going out and you kill a bandit, and he has this new scope on his gun, or this new stock, or box mag, or something like that, and you can apply it right there in the middle of the field. Put that new attachment on. Right, you're about to go into a cave or a metro tunnel, and you want a night vision scope, and you have that in your inventory. You can put that night vision scope on right then and there, and then go in there and eviscerate all the mutants that are gonna come at you in the dark. Which is a really nice change of pace of having to make decisions before going into a level. Because in Last Light, it's okay, I just got done having to go up onto the surface. I have to now go back into the tunnels, and I need to make sure that I get rid of the sniper, because I'm not really going to be sniping in this level, I don't think. I don't know. And then you get through the middle of the level, and you're dealing with bandits in this giant, cathedral type area. Oh shit, I would really wish I would have kept that sniper. There's none of that here. You can really craft your weapons to fit situations on the fly. Is it always advisable that you do that? Not really, right? If you're in the middle of a firefight, probably not advisable to try to swap a stock onto your high-powered revolver and put a fucking sniper scope on it, right? That's probably not the best option, but you could do it if you wanted to. Enemies wise, you fight a lot of bandits and humans in this game, as opposed to the previous games where a lot of the focus, well, I will say a lot of the focus of the previous games was dealing with the mutants. There was some conflict in the Metro that you had to deal with, but it wasn't nearly as much. It seems like a lot of the combat that you deal with in this game is much more based on the different groups of people that you come across in your travels in post-war Russia. except for one group of creatures that you just continually run into. They're called the humanimals. Basically, they're ghouls.
Oh wait, they're not human. They're not humans and animals. They're not Nina Alexander Chimera.
No, they are basically irradiated humans who are just right. They're just irradiated humans essentially. And they went feral. You find them everywhere.
With them going feral, it makes a little bit more sense. I'm like, God, that seems like a lazy name for a bad concept. And then you're like, they went feral. I'm like, all right, now it makes sense.
Yeah. Irradiated feral humans is essentially what they are. And they're fucking annoying to deal with. Awful to deal with. They're not like super fucking difficult to kill. There's just a lot of them. And they like to swarm you. So you're like, fucking panic shooting, and if you're like me and conserving ammo the entire time, you're using the fucking I think it's called the Daniecae. It's an air gun that shoots steel bullets or steel balls, like ball bearings.
Ooh.
So you just it just pumps up with air, and then you're just like shooting. It's a silent weapon, but like with a head, it will kill these things with like a headshot, but like really hard to land a headshot when there's like 5 of them charging and you're like, oh, fuck, right? And like,
an airsoft musket.
Yeah, Chocolade said that in chat. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's an airsoft musket. Except it has a tank. So like it like the air pressure gets stored in the tank. It has like, in terms of weapons, like the guns are familiar to anyone who's played the Metro series before. There's the Bastard, which is I believe that's the revolver. That it's like the shitty revolver that everyone learns how to make, and it's called the Bastard because they like fail on you all the time. That's fucking bastard. There's like a weird Kalashnikov type assault rifle that like the Metro's gunsmiths always made, and so a lot of those guns are the same. So they're familiar if you've played the series. Otherwise, other mutants that you see demons, you see some really bizarre creatures like the Czarfish, which is like this giant fucking like catfish that chases you around a level. There's also a mutant that you run into that is very familiar from Last Light, the mother bear. This giant irradiated bear who absolutely chases you around the taiga. There is a very notable exception to the mutants that you run into in this game, and I want to talk about that, but I have to get into the story first. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Metro Exodus, go on ahead and pause or mute the stream and then skip ahead to the next section. 3, 2, 1, spoilers on for Metro Exodus. So, for those who don't know, Metro Exodus is based on a series of books by Russian author Dmitry Glukhovsky. I believe I pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Where the first game mirrors the novel pretty well. The second game deviates from 2034, which is the sequel to 2033. And Exodus follows some of the same plot points of 2035. I haven't read the books, so I can't really contribute to that discussion. But just know that there are like some narrative threads that are there. So like I said, Metro 2034 or Last Light deviates from the story of the books. So Metro Exodus does start after the events of Last Light, though. Also enjoy my like trash shooting on the screen. Artyom, our main character, he yearns to leave the Moscow metros, where the survivors of the war that we fought in Last Light have been living for 20 years. And he's been convinced that the people in Moscow are not the only ones left. And after a series of mishaps, it's discovered that the military forces in Moscow have been jamming radio signals from in and around the city so that they appear to be dead to the enemy. And that's really and so shortly after this discovery, the fear that RTM and his comrades will be labeled traitors and criminals by the military, they decide to leave Moscow and hijack a train and leave the metro entirely. That's all like in the first hour, maybe 2 hours of the game. So that's not even serious spoilers. At this point, really serious spoilers. If you don't want the story spoiled for you, skip ahead if you can.
It was Kaiser Soze the whole time.
It was Kaiser Soze. Bruce Willis was dead the entire time.
Wait, what was that from?
I really don't want to tell you.
I said it. Fuck your spoilers.
So, after leaving Moscow, RTM and the crew travel across Russia looking for a mythical place he sees in his dreams to settle. Along the way, they run across cults, warlords, cannibals, and disparate survivors and different set pieces the game sets up for us. The different set pieces are very immersive. They are done beautifully. They're perfect. They're great. Along the way, we add new crew members like Katya, a nurse, and her daughter, and an engineer who I can't remember the fucking name of because it's Russian. I can't be bothered to remember to pronounce it anyways. A lot
Fair.
a lot of the plot is driven by a single moment in which your wife and the daughter of Colonel Miller, Anna, accidentally gets exposed to some pre-war chemicals and begins to develop a serious illness that degenerates her lungs over time. In the end, after you're done like globetrotting around Russia, I suppose, you must go to a city where the Russian government has was producing experimental medicines and possibly some bioweapons of their own, and explore their tunnels for a cure. You find the cure, and after being exposed to too much radiation, the colonel dies, and you become the leader of the order. And you find the place in which you and your merry band would settle in your dreams. Oh, very nice. Nice, heartwarming ending. I really don't have the story that's told. I don't have a problem with, but I do have a problem with how like Exodus fits in with the rest of the Metro story. So, anyone familiar with the first two games knows of a set of mutants called the Dark Ones. They drive the story of the first two games. Yet in Exodus, you guys will notice in my synopsis, I didn't mention them once because they're not in this game. We get 3 cameos of the Dark Ones in this game, and they are never mentioned by the characters themselves.
Yeah, I thought they were aliens.
We don't really know what they are canonically yet.
Oh.
It hasn't been explained. I think they generally think they're mutants, or that they were people experimented on by the Russians as potential psychic weapons. Because a huge thing with the Dark Ones is that in the first game, we think they're evil because their psychic communications with humans cause humans to go insane. So they're viewed as this like malevolent force in the Metro. In that, in the first game, we go and bomb the shit out of them. That's how the first game ends, is that we're like, fuck these mutants that are over there. Fuck them. We know that there's some missiles in Moscow still. We're going to launch fucking missiles at them across as they live across town. That's the first game. Second game is, oh shit, they weren't evil, but look, there's still like a little guy here who we can save. In like the pursuit of the little guy, of the little one, the child, is like the driving force of Last Light. And in the canonical ending of Last Light, because there are two endings in Last Light. In the canonical ending, the Dark Ones save the Metro. They basically defeat the Red Line, which is like the communists in the Metro. And then they're like, goodbye, we're going to go find a new home. Because, and by the way, they found out that there's like more Dark Ones asleep somewhere, like in a vault, that the little one goes and frees. So all of the Dark Ones decide to like leave Moscow and find their own home. So they are like the driving force of the first two games. And we get like a little bit of lip service, like a few cameos. Like we see them in one level, like it feels like a hallucination. And then in the last level called the Dead City, we catch glimpses of them. Like literally, like I even saw it, like there's a glimpse of one, like as you're coming out of the tunnel for the last time, you see it on like the fucking roof and then it disappears quickly. So narratively, the lack of Dark Ones feels really, really, really weird to me. Like there was, it's almost like they wanted to tell an entirely different story, but needed it somehow to fit into the world. And so this is what we got. They didn't want to talk about the psychic entities that existed around the Metro anymore, which felt odd. Like there's a couple psychic entities around the Metro. So that was weird. Like there was like this paranormal thing that like should have been there and it wasn't. The other problem I have with the story of Exodus and how it fits into the rest of the Metro series is that there was a fucking war in the Metro. There's a war between Nazis and commies. And you were fighting both sides in 2033 and in Last Light. And at the end of Last Light, you only beat the Red Line, the commies. That's all you. That's the only faction between the three that you defeated, or between the two that you defeated. You're the third faction, and so it's even revealed in the first hour of the game when in your series of mishaps that the Nazis are still operating, and that they're still like fighting against people in the Metro, and nobody in your group wants to go back to the Metro after leaving to go deal with that. You know, fuck all my friends and comrades still fighting the Nazis in the Metro. We're going to continue exploring. No one's going to fight for us to go back home. Like it's just like this weird thing. And they are hinting like and I know there's another Metro game coming out and they are hinting that they're going to like go back to Moscow, I think. But it was just like this weird thing. It's like, no, we're just going to go find our own place. We don't care about like the people who are dying at the hands of Nazis. Like we're just going to abandon this war that we were just fighting entirely. It's a very weird. It was an odd thing to get over while playing this game. Cause it's like, Colonel Miller, we were just like fighting Nazis. Like we were just fighting this war and we aren't even talking about it. We weren't acknowledging this war that we were just like in. It's a very strange thing to try to get over. Some about the characters, character development wise, everyone kind of gets their own spotlight, which is kind of nice. Characters named Damir, Stepan, and Alosha, and a few other characters get their moments to shine, which is kind of nice. Especially because we don't really want them to be just like dudes with guns 1 and 4, right? Like you don't necessarily want that in this game. So it's nice to see that. I will also say like there is a character who we don't get like a ton of development in the main game called Sam, who is voiced by the prolific voice actor, Steve Blum.
Guy.
Oh, Steve Blum is so good. Every time I look up
Spiegel. Ugh.
Every time I look him up, there's another character I didn't know he voiced. This week, it was Orochimaru and Zabuza from Naruto, and I didn't realize he also voiced Makoto Shishio in Rurouni Kenshin.
Nice. He's also doing Wolverine in that new Marvel game that they've been advertising, where like Wolverine's a samurai and Deadpool's a pirate and all that crap.
Oh wow!
Which I think he's voiced Wolverine a lot in video games. 'Cause I think he voiced him in Ultimate Alliance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But so Sam gets his own story. It's called Sam's Story, the DLC.
Creative.
Yes. Colonel Miller, who is really the driving force of the game, like he is like the one who is making a lot of decisions. He has plenty of moments where his character shines. I think that they sent him off great in the story. I think his arc was well done. I'll be honest, the way that they treat Anna in this game is really disappointing. Although I'm not really sure what I was hoping for, because in the previous game, the romance with Anna was not well fleshed out. She wasn't a well fleshed out character. In Last Light, your first interaction with Anna is that you find out she is a sniper for the Order. She is Colonel Miller's daughter, and you two are sent to the surface to go find the Dark One that people spotted. And then she leaves you when you guys, she leaves you out on the surface when you get knocked out and the Nazis come. And then she comes to you and is like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean it. And then she like sees your bravery through a few more fights, and then like you bone.
It's like, you should have seen my bravery when you ducked out on me, but you couldn't see it because you fucking left me.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's literally like, oh yeah, and now we bone. That's how that plays out. So I don't know what I was expecting in this game for Anna, but I was really hoping that maybe something else was going to be, maybe a little bit more fleshed out. But really, it's like you go to her rescue when she's exposed to the chemicals. You go to her rescue when you guys get picked up by cannibals or tricked by cannibals. And then like a significant portion of it is like, oh, you're going to go do this fetch quest with her, or she's going to help you by like being a sniper. And there's like no dynamics with Anna. And at a certain point, she's just basically entirely out of the story because of her lung condition. And so she becomes a point of, basically she's like the driving, like she's like the main point of like you guys going to like the taiga and the dead city. She really just becomes a plot motivator, which I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I just wish that she was a stronger character. Yeah. So I guess the last couple things I'll mention, voice acting wise, a lot of middling to great performances in the English version of the game. Like I said, it does feature the iconic voice of Steve Blum, who it distracted me for a second when I first heard it. I'm like, Spike?
Tom from Toonami?
Is that Orochimaru there? Can you talk like Sam? Can you talk like a snake for a second? Yep, that's it.
That's that dude from Valorant.
It's that dude from Valorant. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still playing through Sam's story. I think I'm like halfway through it, and then I'm gonna play the two Colonels as well. Like I said, I have some qualms about the narrative. There is some things with the game where it's polished. I know it sounds like I'm being a downer on the game, but I really did enjoy it. I really did. I did have some fun. I think the gunplay is fun. I think the set pieces are amazing. I think that the game looks great, sounds great. Really, the story is kind of just a pretense to shoot shit sometimes, and that's okay. That's okay. The game gives you lots of variety in terms of, you go from like a desert to a taiga to back into the metro tunnels, back into like a frozen wasteland, right? It gives you so many different set pieces to explore. You don't stay in one for too long. And really, there are, you get stealthy moments, you get high octane gunfights, you get all sorts of moments in this game. So it is really, really fun. I do think it is a game that people will enjoy, especially if they've been invested in the Metro universe before. I'm going to give it like a rating of like a 7 out of 10. A lot of the points lost are some of the UI and accessibility features, a little bit of lack of polish in some areas, and really the story just lacks some payoffs that I think fans are looking for. I looked like into the I read like Reddit stuff, and like people were like, yeah, there's like no dark ones in this game. What's up with that? I'd be very curious to hear what other people think. If they've played the game, let me know in the comments on YouTube, or you can even tweet at me to let me know what your thoughts are. Do you guys have any questions, opinions, thoughts?
3 things.
Yeah.
I counted twice that you shot dudes in the dick. What's up with that? 2, that guy you ripped the helmet off of and beat him to death with it, that looked like Octane. What's your problem with Octane? And 2, my guy, you are a master boat driver. Like it looked like you did a full like Austin Powers 12-point turn there towards the end.
So there's a couple moments in this game when it comes to like you travel like by canoes. That's the first time you get a fucking motorboat, and that's in that was actually footage from the DLC. Canoes are fucking horrible. It's actually like trying to fucking steer a canoe. It's terrible. So that character, when I was like ripping that helmet off a dude, that was Humanimal. That was like that feral irradiated human who just wanted to like chew on my neck.
Give you sweet tender kisses on the neck
with his teeth. Yeah. So yeah, any thoughts, questions, opinions?
Not for me.
No.
On the actual game itself, it looked fairly well polished. I know you said there were some clipping issues with like some random walls would look like they appear in the middle of the water, but visually speaking, from what I was seeing in the gameplay footage, it looks like it was fairly well done, and it seems like it has it's such a decent, like, unique style story for a shooter. It's not just your typical war story shooter, but it's also not like kind of way out there like Fallout. There's like a little bit of a combination elements there. It definitely seems worth the play.
Yeah, I do think that the Metro series, especially because they go on sale so often, right? You can get them for super cheap. You can even get Metro 2033 for free sometimes. I've gotten it for free twice. I got it once for free from Humble Bundle, and then I picked it up for free once from Epic Games, right? It goes it goes on sale often. You could probably get it like on GOG for like $2, right? You can probably get a lot of the Metro game series for probably under 40. You can probably get the whole trilogy and some other extra content for probably under $40. They are fairly linear games, but the story is fun, and I think it's worth getting invested into for sure. I realize that I have talked about that game for probably 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's go on ahead and take a break real quick. And then we have the Sony Showcase that we need to talk about, the Apple event still, and the finale to Epic vs. Apple. So guys, stay right there. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, damn.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. This year, I'm bringing you guys even more merch featuring a simple black design with our new logo. Get a classic Eco Tee for $18. Stay warm and cozy with our classic crew neck sweatshirt for $20. And stay cool with our tank tops for only $15. And of course, it wouldn't be a new merch lineup without some mugs. Get our new mug for $10. And brand new to our merch lineup, get a 20-ounce stainless steel tumbler for only $20. Prices subject to Teespring fees plus shipping and handling. For more information, see the link in the episode description. And we are back. Thank you guys for letting us take that break. Are you guys ready to get into some like news?
News.
Yeah.
Absolutely, as I sit here like a James Bond villain with a dog.
Ooh, such
Yes,
a pretty
Mr.
puppo.
Bond.
Okay, so let's talk the Sony Showcase for September 2021. So gearing up for the holiday season and away from the cacophony of other gaming shows, Sony had its showcase last week, and here's everything they showed. I'm just gonna kind of blitz through here, and then I'll get your guys' opinions on some of these things. Knights of the Old Republic remake by Asper got teased. I know that's got a lot of Star Wars fans stoked. I didn't see a release window for anything, or it hasn't been announced. I did see, though, that it will be a timed exclusive window for the PlayStation and then a PC release will be coming after that. Project Eve, a Bayonetta-esque ARPG, got a trailer, which looks pretty good. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, the Borderlands spin-off game, got more gameplay shown. Forspoken, the new game from Square Enix and Luminous Productions, showed off a trailer, which was stunning. That's sort of like an isekai tinged action RPG. Like it's your regular everyday millennial girl gets transported to a magical world where she gets to fight with magic. Rainbow Six Extraction showed off a little bit more, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anyone that's excited for that game. If that game appeals to you, let me know about it. Like, tell me why. I don't know why. Like,
We're not harassing you. We just want to know why.
Yeah, I
just need an explanation.
After I've seen more and more of Rainbow Six Extraction, I've kind of just gotten bleh on it. I thought it was an interesting idea, like when they first released it, but I'm like, it really doesn't do anything for me after I've seen this much of it. Alan Wake Remastered showed off a little bit for the first time, which has the dedicated Alan Wake cult really excited. We got a new look at Tango Gameworks and Bethesda's Ghostwire Tokyo, which looks absolutely insane. It looks like a paranormal tinged cyberpunk, and I'm very curious. Very curious.
Yeah, they've been working on that for a while too. They announced that last year, I think.
I think they announced it 2019.
Yeah, something like that. Well, no, I think it was right during the pandemic because they did the online E3. I remember seeing something. Yeah, I remember seeing something about it because it was that girl from Japan who was like explaining it, and it has like a
she became the internet's darling for a while.
Yeah, for like a month and a half. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It looked cool though.
Yeah. Blood Hunt got another trailer, which is weird because it's currently in beta, which if you want to hear some people talk about Blood Hunt, you can check out last week's episode of the podcast.
Also, it was very fun. I got to play it.
Yeah. You enjoy it?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Deathloop got more gameplay showed off, or like another trailer, but that released today for anyone who's interested in Deathloop. I can't wait for that to come to PC because I know that's a timed exclusive. So I'm very much looking forward to that. The next thing on the list was Radiohead, that band that every insufferable tool bag you knew in college was in love with, is coming out with a virtual exhibition in partnership with Epic Games. I was really hoping for like an active like response from one of you. I was really hoping one of you was a Radiohead fan.
I mean, the song "Creep" is pretty timeless. Like, it's all right.
Also two things, because I really want to piss off Radiohead fans. Ladies, if Radiohead is in his top 3, it's a red flag. Also, Law Dispute did do something really similar to this a few years ago, which was super dope, and you can find that on itch.io. Also, I love Law Dispute. Wildlife is a fantastic album. You should listen to it.
I think you talked about that on the show too.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. Long time ago.
It was like when I first got on too.
Like as a guest.
Yeah, I don't even think I was hosting.
I was still living with my dad when I did that. So that's how long that's been. Tchia, a game inspired by New Caledonia, is getting released to PlayStations and Epic Games in 2022. And Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is coming to PS5 and PC in 2022, which might be some of the biggest news to come out of the showcase this time around.
I am kind of disappointed, Danny.
Why?
Going over your show notes, you missed two very important things.
Yes, God of War.
Yeah, and well, actually, technically three.
Strong boy Thor. Let's go.
Oh, thick Thor.
Yeah.
Dummy
thick Thor.
Dummy thick.
He's got that dumpy on him. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
God of War. What else did I miss?
Spider-Man 2.
Okay, yep.
And they're making a Wolverine game. They did a teaser for that as well. Yeah. I'm actually very excited for that because that might not be a PlayStation exclusive.
I think I skipped over it. There's also
you missed the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep, I actually have that one in my notes here. But yes, Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy got a new trailer as well.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping that Wolverine game is not PlayStation exclusive. But then again, I also kind of want to get a PlayStation 5 now because I really want to play God of War, 1 and 2 when it comes out, and then like I really want to play the new Spider-Man movie now, or Spider-Man game now, because I'm a sucker for Marvel stuff. So
yeah,
God, dude, that Spider-Man game though, Tony Todd as Venom.
I know that's beautiful.
Came in my jorts.
So
and I think they have they're hinting at Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah,
it's the main villain. Yeah, it's definitely Kraven.
It's got to be.
Yeah, which I'm super excited for because Kraven does not get the love that he solely deserves.
Kraven and Doctor Doom both kind of,
exactly. Doctor Doom's been fucked over. That's the issue though. Is Kraven hasn't had the chance to get fucked over.
Right? Yeah,
they haven't only ever seen him in animated, and even the animated ones weren't bad. Like the original '90s Spider-Man, Kraven was a fucking boss in that.
Yes, he was.
And he's just slept on. I know they were gonna do it in Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield, and all that shit got tanked. So I'm excited. I want to see it.
Yeah. So that was all that was shown in the showcase. What do you guys think? Some stuff you guys want to check out? Anything you'll pick up? Let us know in the comments. For me personally, Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. They really have my curiosity. Green. I know you're just talking some of the Marvel games, but
someone buy me a PlayStation 5, please. I need my fix, man. I need my fix. God of War with thick Thor. Oh, and they're bringing Tyr in, and if you watch the trailer, he's fucking massive compared to Kratos, and I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I love Norse mythology. I love Greek mythology, and the God of War games were the games I fucking loved to play when I was a teen. So, I just never got on board with the remake, but the reboot, because at the time I was switching to PC, and I just didn't want to get it on PS4 when the game looked so fucking fantastic on the PS5.
Yeah.
So they released the PS5 upgrade, and it's a gorgeous game. Yeah. And I don't want to experience that on the Pro.
Yeah. Rev, how about you? Anything that piqued your interest here?
More than anything, Spider-Man 2. That's going to be, Wolverine also, but more than anything, it's got to be Spider-Man 2. That just having that, the way the trailer was done was just so captivating. It was you got stoked watching it, and so that one's kind of got my attention right now.
You didn't even get just Peter Parker. You got Peter Parker and Miles Morales and Venom.
Yeah, and then plus you get in the voice of Kraven in the background, but it's leaving it enough of a mystery where even though we all know it's Kraven, it's oh well, they could do something fucking stupid like the Mortal Kombat movie and just create a whole new character that's essentially a rip-off of another character, but that we'll wait to see on all that.
I will be severely upset if it's not Kraven.
Same.
Yeah, I think he needs to be live action now.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see him in the new Spider-Man movie coming out, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I doubt it. But there may be he may end up getting involved with Morbius somehow.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So that's the Sony Showcase. Anything else that we wanted to mention for that?
No, not right off the top of my head.
All right. Let's.
Thick Thor.
What's that?
Thick Thor.
Thick Thor.
People are going nuts on TikTok about that. By the way.
Yeah.
And there's people who are like, oh, but he's fat, and then there's other people like, no, that's canonically like real life how strongman lifters look.
Yeah, I mean that's literally how strongmen are built. Look at Eddie Hall.
Yeah, and half Thor.
Well, don't look at half Thor now. Look at half Thor 2 years ago.
Yeah, when he broke the record for the deadlift. You know,
yeah,
with 1,100 pound deadlift.
Yeah.
So
real quick, let's move along to the Apple September event that happened today.
today.
Which they had to show off some products and services that will be available to customers in the coming months, right in time for the holidays. Lots of stuff was shown, but we're going to keep it relevant to you gamers, you pro gamers. A new iPhone was announced. The iPhone 13 is going to come in a Mini Pro and Pro Max version with an updated A15 Bionic chip. Apple is boasting a bunch of changes to the cameras, including macro lens and built-in rack focus, which is kind of cool. And it's going to come with a Super Retina XDR display, which will have an increased frame rate of 120 hertz, which can be changed dynamically for games or for videos. So if you have a game that likes to run at a high refresh rate, or maybe you're streaming to your phone using Stadia or NVIDIA Now or something along those lines, you can up the frame rate there. Which I think is actually kind of a neat feature for mobile gamers. Also, whatever mobile apps will run at 120 hertz. I don't know of many that probably would, but
My Hero Academia, the money grab.
Call of Duty Mobile. Let's see. New iPad and iPad Mini were announced, which will incorporate an A13 Bionic chip. The new iPad will have a 10.2-inch display, while the Mini will have an 8.3-inch display. Not a lot of other updates that would be relevant to gamers, really. Like they're not getting the dynamic range, a frame rate increase or anything like that, which I thought was a little weird. But also, I think Apple just kind of knows not a lot of people really game on tablets, especially their tablets, because you can't use a controller of any sort. Let's see. They also showed off the Apple Watch Series 7, which not really anything to report for our perspective here either. There's like a lot of updates to like the fitness features and stuff. One thing I do want to note, if it is important to you, if it would affect your purchasing decision, is that that Apple is claiming that all of their devices that they showed off today will be made from recycled materials, like 100% recycled materials, including the aluminum or aluminum, if you're not like me.
American.
If you're American. And
Don't you ever say aluminum like that again.
Aluminum. I say it like that because that's how I have to remember how to spell it. It's literally how, like, I struggle to spell aluminum so much that I just have to say it like that. Aluminium.
We broke free from the Brits
For
a long time ago.
Hold on. But like most people spell aluminum, ALUMINUM.
Those people are wrong. Anyways,
I literally looked it up on Britannica.
Hold on.
Moving
Rev,
on.
we have to stick to the schedule, okay? We have to stick to the schedule.
Because it
Moving
says,
on, Danny.
It says aluminum, also spelled aluminium. So I'm sorry, but 1776, I'm going to pronounce it the way that we do here.
So yeah, it's gonna be like the frame and like a lot of like the precious metals are recycled.
That's cool though.
Okay,
I can get behind that. I can't fault
pretty
them
dope.
though. That's great. Especially like, I mean, like recycled is the way to go. Like especially if it's a product that can't like biodegrade, like metal.
Well, and
So-
there's only so much precious metal in the ground, right? So
Yeah.
to not recycle the precious metal that goes into our phones and devices seems pretty fucking stupid.
Which I would assume that they probably like, because Apple's technically the higher end electronic, especially when it comes to stuff like that. I would assume that they use gold for wiring, like at least just to some degree. So
Yeah.
I mean that's good that they use that recycle. Hopefully that affects the price though too.
Hey, they're the same prices.
Doubt it.
They're the same prices as the last batch.
You know, it's not hope. You know, it's like
Yeah. But really that was like about it. At least the things that I thought was relevant to our audience. If there's something that we missed, you guys think is important, let us know in the chat, comments, or again, tweet at me. Tell me I'm wrong. Anything there that perked your ears up, Rev?
No, the recycled aspect of it's pretty dope. I mean, like even if it does cost the same or whatever, at least it's doing something in a sustainable nature. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. But at least there's one positive that you can pull out of it, even if you're not an Apple fan.
Yeah. Green? Anything for you that you want to mention?
no.
What do you
You can say it. I can't say it.
I'm going for the taffy. That's what I'm doing.
just going for the taffy, huh? Well,
Don't judge me. I think it's cool. I mean, it's Apple. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's just Apple, I guess.
They made Ted Lasso, so that's dope as shit because that show's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
I heard the C one is good too.
what was that one?
C with Jason Momoa.
I'm glad that's good because it's next on my list. So thank you.
That's just what I heard. I haven't seen it yet. But the new season has Batista in it as well.
Cool.
That's a lot of big meaty men slapping meat. I like it.
Going from Thor to Batista and Momoa.
Well, let's go apples to apples here. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
No, that was good.
I landed one. Thank God I landed one. Yeah, let's talk Apple versus Epic, or Epic versus Apple. We kind of got our finale here. So 3 months after the closing arguments, Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers has come forward with her verdict on the Epic versus Apple lawsuit, which has the media in the tech and gaming space kind of divided on who actually won and lost, or in Kotaku's case being completely fucking wrong, because of course they are. Kotaku decided that they were going to like crown Epic the winner, and it's like when you really look at this verdict, it really doesn't. It's not that way. So in reality, in not like fantasy land that Kotaku constantly lives in, Apple seems to have scored more points, generally speaking. But they really aren't leaving this game happy at all. Like, I'm kind of imagining if this is a sports game, Tim Cook went back into the locker room and screamed at his lawyers and kicked trash cans around. Fucking embarrassing. That's what I imagine. So before we get into the verdict, I do want to do like a quick recap, a quick little crash course for anyone that is not like who needs it, or who is completely unfamiliar with the situation. Back in August 2020, Epic added a direct payment option into Fortnite on Android and iOS so that customers could circumnavigate the respective app stores' payment processing, and therefore cut Apple and Google out of the purchase. On both platforms, this violated the TOS, and Apple first retaliated by removing Fortnite from the App Store. Apple did not realize that they were in a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And activated Epic's trap card called Lawsuit, which dragged Apple into U.S. District Court. So fun.
Could have banished you to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
Epic, who is also being who was putting a ton of money into their war chest, was also being bankrolled by other companies, was arguing that Apple's anti-steering rules and other TOS policies were unfair and monopolistic, and they argued that Apple was an illegal monopoly in the mobile gaming space. Apple argued that that's bullshit, that's fake news, and that Epic knowingly broke the rules and ran to teacher like that one kid you knew in elementary school. During the course of the trial, there was some discussion of a naked banana and some Zoom hijinks, but that's not really important at all. So things ended. The arguments ended. Closing arguments came and went, and here's the outcome of the trial. Firstly, Judge Gonzalez Rogers said that Apple was breaking the law by forcing people to pay for apps and in-app items through the App Store, where it can enforce its 30% cut. So she gave Apple 90 days to allow developers to include other payment options. This is really a small victory for Epic, but I guess victory nonetheless, right? And this is where a lot of like outlets in the gaming space, and namely Kotaku, was like putting a crown and like putting the championship belt on Epic here. It seemed like they were cheering a little too soon. Her second part of her verdict, she upheld Apple's App Store overall structure as legal and said that they do not hold an illegal monopoly over how developers can process payments for mobile games. Because there was a lot of dispute on what the market in question was, what section of the economy this was. Epic wanted to have this be broad and say that this is a dispute over mobile gaming. Apple said, no, this is a dispute over this is a dispute over not only a contract, but a dispute over our App Store specifically. And that they were trying to argue that our walled garden, our rules. Really what happened was Epic kind of lost that argument, and the judge said that if I can find it here specifically, that it's the world of digital gaming transactions and not digital games or digital game distribution. So what does this mean for you, the average consumer, the average customer, who really should only care about what's good for them and not what's good for two multi-billion-dollar companies? First, it will make your purchasing and subscription management a lot easier if you're on mobile. With Apple's anti-steering rules, users would often find themselves in a situation where they would like be able to let me take a breath. Where they'd be unable to subscribe to like Netflix, right? Like you would go to the App Store, install Netflix on your phone. If you don't already have an account, it just like shows a blank screen telling you to log in. But I need to create an account first. Well, you can't create an account until you put your credit card information, and Netflix doesn't want to give Apple that cut. So you're going to have to go off app, either to a computer or use the web browser to make a subscription, input all your payment information, and then go back into the app and upload, right? So if you're a customer, not only is that now eliminated, but it's made a lot smoother. And for developers, that's nice because that's reduced funnel friction, right? There's the sales funnel. Rev, you're familiar with the sales funnel in digital now, right?
Yes.
Right. So it's called the funnel, right? You start at the top and the person, they slowly go in the middle. And it's called friction when things are made difficult for the customer to make their purchase, right? If there's a block, if there is a CAPTCHA, anything like that. Is there anything else you want to add to like describe the sales funnel and the friction there?
No, not really. I mean, that's pretty much my extent of my knowledge with it is, like when you add those things that do make it to where it's not just as easy as a couple of button clicks and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which are good for security because you don't want people signing up, bots signing up for your shit with, or shit with your information. But there's still, it creates that friction of making it a little more difficult as you go.
Yeah. This could also mean cheaper subscriptions and in-app purchases, as devs won't have to factor in Apple's 30% cut into their prices.
Mhm.
We've talked about that before, but I do kind of I have a little bit of doubt that we'll see really much of a price difference, because at this point, the incentive to like do cheaper prices was to like just keep more of it, right? Like circumnavigate Apple and just keep more of that purchase. Like we don't have to give Apple anymore. If the item in the game is $1 and we have to factor in 30% of that, so we get 70 cents, well, we could offer it for 80 cents if we tell them to go to the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can keep that full 80 cents. Now that you don't have to try to figure something else out as a developer, I have a hard time seeing developers really trying to lower prices and instead just pocketing that change.
Because people already grow. Well, the majority of people really won't know much about the lawsuit anyways and what it even entails, meaning that they're just a lot of people will just go on expecting things to be the same. And it's like, well, I mean, if you go ahead and purchase it through us, you won't get any benefit, but hey,
yeah,
I really like that extra money.
Yeah. So that's the way I'm seeing that. Like, I don't think we're going to see a lot of like price changes. So yeah, that's where that is. Those are the biggest changes that we'll see in the iOS market for right now. Now here's the after credits scene, right? Here's the after credits scene. This case might not be entirely over. Epic is very discontent with the outcome of this trial and will be filing an appeal. In part because they are very, very bitter about losing that major argument that I outlined earlier about the relevant market. And they want an appellate court to take that case and potentially overturn the verdict in this case. And it's also worth mentioning that Google versus Epic still hasn't happened, and it's going to tread the same ground. So it is entirely possible that case could set a different precedent. A different judge could find different findings in that, and there could be an issue there. So it's not entirely settled yet, but it's starting to look pretty settled. The dust is very, very low to the ground now. This case, there are new laws in South Korea and Japan. It looks like we'll be seeing a lot of changes in the digital goods market, and hopefully some savings for customers. So yeah, I want to start getting into some individual takes, but again, I want to encourage our listeners, our viewers, to let us know what they think. Go on ahead and tell us if you're watching live. Let us know in the chat. If you're on YouTube or want to reach out on Twitter, tell us what you guys think in the comments. Let's go around the horn. Green, I want to start with you.
Yeah, this definitely isn't done by any means. Like, this is like a pause in my mind, especially with the Google lawsuit as well. So it'll be interesting to see like how the appeal goes when it comes to Apple and Epic. As you said, it's not like crystal clear. Like, this is the winner, this is the loser kind of thing. There's hits on both sides that could possibly or not possibly affect your wallet. And that's the biggest thing to keep an eye out for with the appeal, as well as the Google lawsuit as well. So yeah, just something to be mindful about. I don't think that there's going to be massive changes like in the near future price wise. But I mean, it could definitely change the market. So yeah, that's what I got.
Padre, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be essentially Google or Epic versus Apple 2 whenever the Google trial comes. You're probably not going to see a whole lot of difference in that one. I think the long-term precedent that this is going to end up setting is it's going to really kind of put it out there that these other developers and other publishers and whatnot to actually step up to the plate if they feel like they're being wronged in some way. So I think like maybe we won't see any kind of like massive differences in this current lawsuit, but you may see stuff come up a little bit later in the future, that maybe some other, maybe smaller developers, because we have discussed in the past how some of the app stores charge more of a commission if you don't have so many downloads or whatever. You may end up seeing people step up to the plate and saying, yeah, I'll take them on over this, because even if there's like a little bit of a win there, then it gives other people hope to be able to fight these mega corporations. So we'll see what happens in that aspect. But I think in the grand scheme of things, with what we saw in this particular trial, is we're not going to see a whole lot on our end as the consumers change. If anything's going to change, it'll be on the back end, and we'll not really ever know about it.
Yeah. Personally, like outcome wise, I'm not like super duper surprised in any way. I knew there's a lot of hurdles for Epic to get over, especially because Apple was going for the iOS and broken contract angle for a while, which Epic basically admits to doing, right? They've been admitting that yeah, we broke it on purpose. We knew what we were doing. I personally thought this was going to end up way more one-sided than it did. I thought Apple was going to I thought it was going to be winner takes all situation, and Apple was probably going to come out on top of this because they were really going at it from the angle of a broken contract and walled garden and TOS, right? That Epic had signed on to these practices, and that there wasn't any laws on the books yet that said really that what they were doing was illegal. I also thought I also thought Apple might have come out way ahead on this because their legal counsels were way more concise and prepared in their positions. Epic didn't seem their lawyers were not well prepared. It seemed there was a lot of stories that came out in coverage of like just some buffoonery, I guess. But it's everything said and done. To see that Apple has to make some concessions now is nice. They're seeing a lot of pressure from government, from developer, from consumers and customers to make those changes, and to see them have to make those concessions and not just stay stuck in their ways is generally a good move. And I'm glad to see that. Again, I wasn't super duper surprised by the outcome, and I thought it was going to be way more one-sided, but I was wrong, pleasantly wrong. So yeah, that's really my take, is not super surprising. I think Apple generally comes out on top on this. I think any outlet that is telling you otherwise is not reading the same documents that everybody else is. But yeah, guys, that's the Epic vs. Apple finale. What a wonderful season of gaming and tech that was. Amazing. I was not expecting to see Tim Cook come out with the Mangekyo Sharingan. It's what a twist. He really pulled out the Death Reaper jutsu.
What a twist.
What twist.
What a twist.
So yeah, any other thoughts on that?
No.
Let's go on ahead and wrap up the show then. Green or Rev, since you're our guest this week, what's coming up on your
the audacity? Golly,
yeah, I know. What's coming up with you?
Shit, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I try to stream on weekends now, but strictly on YouTube. This is the only time you'll ever see me on Twitch is doing this podcast. because I have officially revoked my affiliateship and am done with Twitch altogether. So if you ever do want to catch me uploading random stuff or streaming, you can follow me on YouTube at youtube.com/RevSven. And now you can find me on like all my socials. I took out the TV because without being on Twitch, it makes no sense to have TV at the end. So I went with just the RevSven, as you can see below my name here, as Danny so vigilantly noticed and put on here for me. I don't know. I may or may not be getting my hands on Deathloop. I'll have to be giving that a try if I do. And aside from that, yeah, I mean that's it. Just like I do a lot of shit posts. You can find me shit posting on at Loot Crate on all socials. I do actually. I'll go ahead and use this time to promote that. Every Thursday, I stream indie games on the Loot Crate YouTube and Twitch channels. Because the Loot Crate Twitch channel is not registered as an affiliate. And then on Fridays, we do a show called Educated, which Green was actually a part of our very first episode, where we do like trivia based on a particular IP, and it's a lot of fun. It's really silly. So yeah, you can find, if you want to see me do funny stuff, Loot Crate's channels are the place to be.
Excellent. Green, what's coming up with you?
Probably the same stuff that I do all the time. Just Destiny, and I'm gonna be probably playing some Hunt Showdown as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Catch me at twitch.tv/Mr. Greenlee. On all the other socials is Mr. Greenlee, except for Instagram, which is TTV Mr. Greenlee. YouTube, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, OnlyFans.
Excellent.
Did I post anything on OnlyFans? Absolutely not. But it's still there for your convenience.
Excellent. Coming up on my channel. So my internet is allegedly working right now.
It's fine.
I don't know if it will continue to work throughout the week. It did not work Friday night. It worked Saturday and then did not work Sunday. So hopefully this weekend, I'll be able to stream Friday, probably do some Hunt Showdown. Saturday, I want to get a group of people together to do Unfortunate Spacemen, because I had an update. I want to play it. And then Sunday, we'll be continuing with Metro Exodus. Otherwise, you guys can find me on Twitter at Daniecae, DANIECAE. You can find me on Instagram under the same name, and you can find me on TikTok, Daniecae Media. You can also find me on YouTube, where this podcast is hosted, on Daniecae Media. Guys, that's going to wrap up the show this week. Thank you for watching and listening. If your time with us is always appreciated. Of course, we're not just interested in your time, though. We want to hear from you as well. So drop a comment or tweet at us, letting us know your thoughts on anything that we talked about this week. Or you can even answer the question of the week, which was brought to us this week by Mr. RevSven. Our question of the week this week is, who is the biggest villain in anime history? Let us know in the YouTube comments. If you miss any part of the show or want to take us on the go, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to catch us live, you can find us on Twitch at 7 p.m. Central Time every Tuesday. If you guys like what we do, drop a like or subscribe and ring that bell. It helps us out a ton on YouTube. And if you really want to take your support to the next level, the number one way to help us is by telling your friends. Guys, until next week, stay safe, stay healthy, keep fighting the good fights, and we'll talk to you again next week. Goodbye.
Kisses. Mwah.
Love you.